Let's proceed next with understanding some of the principles of scanning and then demonstrating how the scans are actually done. Some of the principles to think about is the fact that this hand sensor, or the other sensors that we demonstrated earlier, they pick up what's called galvanic response. What galvanic response is a rise in skin conductivity, in this case caused by a stress. And the stresses used in law enforcement are from people telling lies. So they ask questions, people lie, the central nervous system responds with a stress, and that can show up in as little as 0.6 of a second and can be measured on the skin. Well, we're not asking questions, but this bulb is. So when the program is actually running, it's running 10 seconds per frequency. And then this is getting a read on the body's response, or central nervous system response. And if we hear an audible chime on this device, and that will tell us that basically we got a hit, and that chime will sound like this. Hear that? So we'll demonstrate more about what to do with this chime when it happens and how to read it and other things like that later on. But we're going to set this down for now. Now, where do we place the bulb? Let's stop the program from running here temporarily. This bulb can be placed either on the stomach. I prefer it actually down the neck like this. And it just sets back there. And basically the frequencies saturate down the spine and through the body. And here again, this will give us a read on what's going on. But when you first turn on the GRS and the F122, you'll need to open a program. So we'll want to do that. So once you open the program, in this case we're looking at parasites and pathogens, you'll actually click Run to start the program. The hand sensor will be in your hand, as you see right here. You'll dial up the baseline control, and you see how this red light comes on, and maybe we'll want to focus on that a little closer. You'll see me dialing this up. Sometimes you may hear a growl as well. That tells you you're right next to where the baseline is, and that's where we want to be, just about right there, right on the edge. You hear that? And if we actually get a hit, it'll sound like this. That's what it'll sound like. And that hit will be recorded, and what you'll want to do is open up the DB Hits tab, and you'll notice here, under this hit, it shows what's on the list or what's related to that frequency. Then you want to go back and within a few seconds reset the baseline. So I'm dialing counterclockwise till the red light goes out. I'm bringing it back till it gets as bright as possible, or I hear that little bit of a growl right there. Now I tell people to turn the lights down. I like that as well when I'm scanning, because if the lights are turned down, I can see when that light gets brighter. And you'll want to adjust this baseline control about every 30 seconds or so. The reason for that is the central nervous system is in flux for many people. It will go up and down, and if you see that light dim out, that red one, then you want to tighten this up clockwise a little bit till it gets a little brighter, or you hear that growl again. And here again, once we get into a chime, then you'll see recorded here for us what the next hit is based on the frequency. And then we reset the baseline again, and we come back right here to the beginning. How many hits will you get during a session? Many people expect many. It may be for some it may be one. It's unpredictable. It depends on what the GRS finds and what your central nervous system is responding to on that specific day while we're running this scan here. And so here again, these frequencies run about 10 seconds each to help us to get a read on what's going on. Well, while the program is running, as we mentioned earlier, it is creating a database, but it also is recording information in the background to write a program for you. That program may run for as little as 3 minutes or as long as many hours, depending on the length of the scan you did, how many scans you did, and how many hits you picked up. So we cannot determine, how long your program will be, and you won't know till you click Run once you open that program. And shortly we're going to show you how that program is located, and very importantly, how you save that program. One of the biggest things or the biggest mistakes people make is they don't save the program correctly that's in the background. and they don't save the database. And if you don't, you run another program, see, then we lose everything. So here again, this is an important thing to do, and we'll be talking about that later on. But getting back to scanning, and to repeat for redundancy, when we hear an audible chime, the recording starts. I leave the DB Hits tab open so I can make sure it is recording. If for some reason you get a chime and it stops recording, sometimes that's because Microsoft has decided to do an update on your computer in the background. Now, if you own a Mac, you won't see this issue. And if you see that happen, this thing chimes and boom, it didn't record anything, you'll want to click the Memorize button, and it will manually put that frequency into the database for you and manually put it into the program that it's writing in the background. So this is very important as well. So these are some of the principles and fundamentals of scanning. We hope this has been of help to you, and we will catch you later.